Diary. We took to the sea as soon as the blazing sun presented itself. In the vast distance, we can see fresh land of what's supposed to be Asia. Instead, we were brought upon Indians, settling on America's impeccable soil. All right, men. Today marks the day we claim this land. Remove all Indians unwilling to comply. We shouldn't bother with such inferiority, anyway. My eyes were drawn to the abundance of gold. I hadn't seen anything like it. And think about what treasures lurk among this new land granted to seek me wealth. I desire to obtain this new territory at every cost, for it will increase my status. This is my American dream.
Dear Diary, absolute rubbish! Damned Puritans and their barbarous ideologies of women who do not exhibit stereotypical womanhood of having children and being married are unworthy witches. Everyone in this town of Massachusetts believes I'm engaged in the forbidden ventures of witchcraft, for I've tried to convince them otherwise, but no budge. Even my own neighbors want to hang me, a quiet old lady who goes about her monotonous life. But that doesn't matter to them. You must embrace your inner woman and follow their fallacious beliefs, or else you will be subject to death by hanging. No, I shall not allow the beliefs of others to dictate my role in society. Us women are bound to rise and overcome despite such obstacles. This is my American dream.
Dear Diary, I watched as my brother left home for an education, failing to understand why Mother and Father forbid me to do the same. Hurry along, Mother called out, ushering me to begin my housework chores that seemed to never end. While sewing, I couldn't help but question why my brother had the right to further his education as opposed to me. Shouldn't I deserve the right to an education? He has the entitlement to attend school, yet I'm left to fend for my own education? With this poem of mine on the equality of the sexes, I ought to never stop substantiating the notion that women are designated to an equal education and rights as to men. This is my American dream.
Dear Diary, as a simple white Southern woman, my duty was to assist around the house, take care of my husband, Joshua John Ward, and ensure our slaves do not escape. For any slave caught acting out of manner will be punished. Besides, we did not earn the luxury of being the largest slaveholder in America by letting slaves escape. Even so, I strive to have more slaves that'll provide me their labor. They do the work, and the profit goes in my pocket. This is how the system works, and it'll always be like that. Slaves were brought here to become laborers to us. Therefore, I will exhibit my own freedom and right to profit from slavery in the South. This is my American dream.
Dear Diary, today was another hard and oppressive day. Simultaneous forceful servitude is all I know. I cannot help but notice the independence my master exhibits, very much unlike me and the rest. If I can only get a taste of that sweet freedom, a breath of not being a slave anymore. That's just it. Us fellow slaves cannot continue being victims of involuntary servitude. We must escape together and find a way to let the world know we are much more than slaves. We are individual beings that deserve the same right as a white man. Though the constant label of being seen as an inferior slave obstructs my path to freedom, I will not give up the fight for equal representation amongst us African Americans. This is my American dream.
Dear Diary, this is the 8th day going to sleep with an empty stomach. The late blight disease has taken over the entirety of my potato crop, and I fear living in Ireland will no longer be possible. Many people have faced the harsh reality of death due to starvation, something I never saw coming. I am being forced to relocate to America as circumstances might be much better there as opposed to Ireland, including better job opportunities. Maybe after settling in, I can exhibit the urban lifestyle by becoming employed and earning wages to help feed my family. I can take roles in manufacturing and produce goods that will assist modern technological advancements such as railroads. Even so, I can construct a sufficient future for my children. Maybe relocating to America is not such a bad thing. This puts me one step closer to my American dream.
Dear Diary, for all my life, I've watched the men participate in the natural entitlement of elections. I ask myself, why is my right to vote less significant than that of men? This was an easy one to answer. I was a woman. My only right was to become a simple wife and mother. No voting, no owning property, hell, no control over the wages I earn. Today, the 19th of July, I dedicate myself to changing the lack of women's suffrage. By attending this Seneca Falls Convention, us women will change the societal norm for women. We deserve to exhibit the equal amount of power men are subjected to by birth. I will never stop fighting for us American women to be given the right to vote. This is my American dream.
Dear Diary, today we finally moved to America for some sort of gold rush. On the trip, my parents mentioned how America is flooded with many economical opportunities to help our family and stabilize my future. However, after arriving, my eyes were instantly drawn to me. I was a foreigner, moving from China to America. In the blink of an eye, I was quickly relocated to a factory with large machines and terrible health conditions. Wages were incredibly low and hours were long. Even so, the Chinese Exclusion Act kept me from assimilating in society as I began to see how xenophobic America was. Working in factories was no match for my age. Instead, I wanted to attend school and increase my skill set as a kid. Fortunately, I was enrolled in school, which helped me towards fulfilling my American dream.
Dear Diary, after finishing my medical degree at Harvard and being a certified physician, the New England's Women's Club had the courtesy to invite me as a speaker. The topic of speech was the appropriate education for girls. In a Boston society, this is very true to form. Males further their education, females do not. This is, and should remain, the societal condition for boys and girls. Any good physician, like myself, will tell you that when a girl spends a large amount of time learning, the reproduction system becomes obstructed as more development is going towards the brain. While boys, on the other hand, engage in the rigors of school, and a change in reproduction is not seen. Thus, girls should not participate in school, but instead remain domestic workers at home. My duty is to educate essential information as part of my American dream.
Dear Diary, as a young white male in society, I face the constant pressure to engage in politics, hold government office, and maybe own a few hundred acres of land. Besides, I have the God-given right to do such. Instead, I'd rather invent a successful future for myself in the world I live in. Even since age 12, I've always enjoyed exploring the many tools in the machine shop during my spare time. Something about being an inventor never ceased to amaze me. With creating the Model T, this sparked the interest of many people, including additional inventors, who sought out to assist society with newer technological advancements. Despite accumulating a large amount of wealth, I still strive to make standard living easier through the use of production and manufacturing, and inspire others to become more innovative. This is my American dream.
Dear Diary, today is the day. I've seen enough aggression towards women in our society. The constant struggle for equal representation amongst both men and women is something that must be balanced. As president, it is finally time for me to step in and change the gender norm. I am in support of granting women the right to vote. Men and women can exhibit the same amount of freedom despite being that of different genders. Women can offer a great deal to society as to men specifically in the ventures of politics. Thus, as a society, we must overcome our unbalanced societal status quo, in which we will be able to achieve secession together. I aspire to bring men and women as one. This is our American dream.
Dear Diary, after being elected as president today, I saw countless faces of people who depend on me for their American dream to be fulfilled. I feel a strong connection with each face, and I too strive for my American dream to become an American reality. Within instituting the DACA United States immigration policy, this assisted fellow immigrants into America seeking job opportunities, as everyone is entitled to impartiality despite belonging to another country. By accepting immigrants into the United States, this exposes society to be more accepting of one another as opposed to demonstrating hostile, xenophobic behavior. As a whole, our communities begin to glow with prosperity and success, for this is our American dream.
Dear Diary, as I watched the news, I could not help but view countless reports on black men and women being discriminated specifically in America. To those who hold great prejudice amongst others? Why? The prevalent theme of misrepresenting and stereotyping people only hinders society from truly succeeding. With the creation of the Black Lives Matter movement, this figure is set in stone as a way for people to come together and support a cause. Black lives. By collaborating under the same motive, this allows society to address and assist this societal issue so that mankind can exceed. We must do it for the betterment of the world, because without cognition, this does not allow progression. Thus, together, we must work towards making the world we live in our American dream.
Dear Diary, every day, we begin with the sun and end with the moon taking its place on Earth. What about the other living things? It's so easy to drive to work releasing toxic fumes in the air, litter plastics where they will ultimately find their way in the stomach of sea turtles, or even release chemicals into the water source, making it undrinkable. Do we not realize the damage it is causing to our environment? Earth is our home, so why do we continuously wreck it? By collaborating together, seeking a plausible solution towards rejuvenating our Earth, this can additionally bring us together as human beings. We will be able to achieve much more as this opportunity eliminates discrimination. Even so, when everyone gets together and fights for a cause, bonds strengthen, while too increasing the Earth's health and the American dream.
Dear Diary, today was the last day of my STEM Aquatic Ecosystems program. Although it is sad that the lectures are coming to an end, this program was very enlightening to me because not only was it offered to students despite their race or background, this program helped me develop an interest in biology and the environment we settle ourselves on. As a first-generation American, this makes me eager to build a successful future for myself, my family, and the world, a future where I can reflect on and be proud of. Being a young teen engaging in the STEM field, I want to encourage other underrepresented individuals to participate in STEM as it helps construct our society into successful and hardworking people. With participating in science, this increases one's skills and knowledge, allowing them to create better judgments, institutions, and virtues about the world we live in, so that the societal standards are improved.